All right, guys. So I'm going to show you how, or remind you, because I know I've shown you before, I'm going to remind you how to access Google Drawing on your device. I'm not sure as far as like a tablet or a phone how to do this. If there is an app for Google Drawing, that might be something I should look into, or you could always just go to your app store and look into. If there is an app, then I recommend getting that free app and using that. But if you're on a Chromebook, you're going to make sure you're logged in, and you will know you're logged in if you hover over this side and it has your login right there. And you're going to go to Google Drive. So once you're in your Google Drive, remember we have to go to New. And this always takes a minute for my New to open all the way. So I'm just going to wait because eventually my other my apps are going to load down below. And we're going to have to go to More. And finally, we're going to find Google Drawings. So remember where that is? Cool. So Google Drawings. So anytime I do that, remember we went to New. So it's always going to start a new drawing. You're never going to be able to access drawings you already started that way, because then they wouldn't be new, right? If you've already started a drawing and you want to return to it, what you're going to do is you're just going to go to your Google Drive, and you're going to see in your drive somewhere, you're going to see a Google drawing that you did. So here's what I was doing when I was playing hangman with some kids during my office hours. So here it is, right? I can see my old drawing. I can click on that and edit it and change it and all that. Okay. Let's go back to the new one we just started. So one thing I want you to do is we want to title it, because this is going to be for our tall tale story. My computer is being super slow. What the? Come on, your little delete button. Okay, we're going to call it Tall Tale Illustration or Tall Tale Drawing or something. That makes me know what it is. And then we're going to go and start. So just like on Google Slides, like you can see the little checkerboard background here. Anything off this rectangle represents a page, right? Anything off this rectangle is not going to be a part of my drawing. So anything that hangs off will be totally cut off. So I want to make sure I keep everything I want in this rectangle. Now, I highly recommend you start with a background or backgrounds. So because it's just a lot easier that way. So the best way to do a background, I think, is to grab a shape. And I am going to do like a sky right here. I have no idea what I'm drawing, honestly, right now. But I'm just demonstrating the background. So that's kind of a good background. This little paint can here is the color, the fill color. So we can do different colors, background, gradient, whatever. Okay. Now, if you want to get fancier, that's like basic background, right? So the reason I did blue up there is because let's say I want like a horizon line. So again, see how I'm trying to aim it so it's like perfectly fit on my page. And if I went over, actually that would be okay but I would be kind of hard for me to get the rest of my picture. Now I want that to be like grass, right? So I would change that to like green, right? Okay. And then I draw my picture on top of this background. That would make sense, right? Now, if we want to get fancier than that, instead of a shape, let's delete that. I could search an image, and maybe I could go find clouds. No, not clouds, clouds. And I could use clouds. Do I want it to be stormy? Let's do nice fluffy clouds. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that image. Okay, so I'm gonna have to. So usually I don't like to stretch things because it makes them all wonky. But in this case, I'm gonna have to stretch it. Let's see how they look like when I stretch them. So I want to stretch that picture. Okay, well, they're a little wonky, but that's okay. Nope, this one's not all the way there. Okay, so now I've got clouds in my background instead of just blue. And I could do the same thing down here on my ground if I wanted, right? Search the web. Maybe I'll search, I did green for grass, so let's just search grass. But a nice, okay, here's a nice little carpet of grass there. So select that one. Cool. Now again, I'm gonna shape it. This one's gonna be totally fine. When I stretch it, all weird, right? A little bit blurrier, but that's okay because I'm gonna cover it up with my pictures. So other than the backgrounds and like a couple other things, I don't want you to like copy and paste images of people and call it a day, right? Like try to do that limited. As far as like creating characters and backgrounds and people and all that, um, you need to use your shapes and tools like that. I'm actually going to, like, if I think about my tall tale, I had my character in the Sierra Nevada mountains. So I might just put some mountains also in the background. These kind of look good. Oh, see, it covered up everything. Okay, shrink that down. See if I pull it across how that looks. Let's see if I can crop it down a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I got to play around with this more. Anyways, it takes experimentation and all that, but you get the idea. You can watch the other videos I'm going to post just about how to use Google Drawings and things like that. You can make little people. Oops. So remember, if I want to move something, I have to highlight it and I have to get these arrows. This is going to resize it, but the crossing arrows is going to let me move it. Also, if I want to change the fill color, you could go like that. If I want to change the outline color, that's this tool. It says border color. If I want to change the thickness of the outline, that's border weight, or I could change my borders into dash. Okay, so that's kind of what these tools are for. If I wanted to make my person say something, I could use one of these call outs, little speech bubbles, right? And same thing, I can change how the fill of my call out, make it white. If I wanted to add text in there, I'd have to choose a text box. And just do that like I would any other way. Now you notice up here, there's this little circle up top, and you'll see that on all the shapes and text boxes and things like that. It's on my text box right now. When you use that little circle, you can rotate things, right? So that's what the purpose of that is. So if I want like this text bubble to be crooked, I'm going to shift that, and then I'm going to pull this text box the exact same way, right? Okay. Now remember, if you want to move this speech bubble, you're like, I don't like it there. Then you click on the speech bubble and you get this move, and you're like, I'm going to put it over here now. Oh, that's your text box. So they're two separate entities, right? If you want to move them together, there is a way to do that. You hold down Shift. Oops. Hold on. You hold down Shift and you get them both. Let's see if that worked. Or I could be a big fat liar, right? Oh. There. Okay. You hold down Shift. I think I have that background still, don't I? Yeah, I do. But I shifted everything, okay? So yeah, you do hold down Shift and select what you want. Unfortunately, I've got the background select. Get out of there. So whenever you're like, I don't want to select that, I always click to the side. Okay, this is gonna work. Darn it. Hold down Shift. Got my text box. Got my shape. And I quit. Control Z. I'm going to figure that out, but I know that if you hold down Shift, you can select more than one thing at a time. You know, at the end of the day, I might just move them separately just because it would probably be faster than me making a fool out of myself. But that's what I want you guys to do, is make an illustration for your tall tale. Now, this is not a good illustration. There is a floating head and somebody saying howdy. Okay, so I want it to look like you actually put more effort than 5 minutes into it. Let's try to make it like spend a good, I don't know. This is literally all you're doing in writing for 2 days. So let's like make it look like we spend a good at least 20 minutes on it, right? And I don't mean 20 minutes of messing up and hitting undo over and over again like I am doing. I want it to look like, you're trying your best and you're doing the best you can. And if you get frustrated, go watch those videos. People smarter than me showing you how to use Google Drawings effectively, and ask a sibling if you have an older sibling, and just do your best. Okay. And what we're going to do is eventually, after a couple days of working on these, we're going to put these into our stories. All right. So good luck.